When we want to source businesses that have a presence on LinkedIn, we have Apollo.io. It's a great database for that. But when it comes to local businesses that don't necessarily have a presence on LinkedIn, it becomes much harder to do it in bulk because Google Maps scraping has to be done city by city. And on top of that, Google Maps only shows 10 businesses per page, which makes the process even more difficult. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to easily scrape unlimited Google Maps leads for less than $50 using Serper.dev and Clay.com. If you're new here, my name is Romain Osman. I co-founded 5Element, and over the past years, we've generated over 1,000 sales appointments for B2B companies and millions in pipeline using cold emailing and LinkedIn outreach. So let's get started. So the first step is to create a Serper.dev account. So when you create a new account, they give you 2,500 free queries. And with one query, you have 10 businesses. So basically, with a free account, you can already scrape 25,000 businesses. And after that, you need to pay $50 for 50,000 queries. So it's approximately 500,000 businesses. So when you create a new account, you're going to have this dashboard. And so you will need to go to API keys and copy your API key. So then we can paste it in Clay.com. So now we're in Clay, and that's the workbook that we're going to use. And I'm going to give you the link of this workbook. So you can just click on the link that will be in the description and duplicate it. So on this workbook, you have 4 tables. The first table is the scraping table. So that's the table we're going to use to scrape Google Maps with Serper.dev. And then we have 3 other pages just to show the results from the 3 first pages from Google. So let me explain everything in detail. So on this table, the first column is location. So here you're going to add all of the cities that you want to scrape businesses from. And so I'm going to share with you in the description this spreadsheet with a list of more than 30,000 cities in the US. They're sorted by population. And if, for example, you only want businesses that are in the state of Minnesota, you can just add a filter here. You clear all of the states here. You add Minnesota. You click on OK. And then here you can just copy all of those cities and paste them directly in here. Then you have business to search. So here you click on edit column. And here you add the businesses that you want to scrape. So hotels, dentists, restaurants, etc. This way, it's automatically going to add the keyword that you add here in all of the rows in this column. Then we have Serper input. So that's just a combination of the location and of the business to search. So that will be the input for the Google scraper. And then we have 3 columns here to scrape the 3 first pages of Google with Serper.dev. So if you just want the first page of Google, so you just want the first 10 businesses per city, you can just run this column. If you want the first 3 pages, so you want approximately 30 businesses, you can run all of them here. And if you want more than 3 pages, you can just duplicate this and scrape the page 4 and page 5, etc. There will be some other setup to do, but I'll explain how to do it later. So I opened this column. So that's an HTTP API module. And so if you want to do it yourself, you can just copy what I've added here. Here you need to add your own API. I added that to not show my API. And as you can see here, it's scraping the first page. So here it's exactly the same, but I have added 2. And here's the same, and I've added 3. So if you want to scrape the page 4 and page 5, you just need to duplicate. You're going to have everything set up like that, and you just modify this number. And here you can copy also those settings. I noticed that we weren't seeing what I was showing. So as you can see here, we have the API key that you add here. And finally, we have those 3 columns here that are sending the data that we are scraping here to those 3 tables. Because when we're scraping the data here, as you can see, it's stuck inside of this. So here we have the 10 businesses, and inside of this, we have all of the information. And so to be able to have it like that, so 1 row per business, and here we have all of the information, we need to add those columns. So now I'm inside of this column. So as you can see, it's sending the data to page 1 of Google. It's this one. And so I mapped out all of the information that have been scraped using Serper.dev. And so that's something I've done 3 times for those 3 pages. We could potentially gather all of the businesses in just one table, but I think this way it's cleaner because at least you know that in the first table, you have all of the businesses that appear in the page 1 of Google, here page 2, etc. And so if you want also the page 4 and page 5, I already show you, you can duplicate this. And here it's the same, you duplicate and you duplicate here the table, and then you just have to map. So it's very easy to do. By the way, if you'd rather have my team build and run the entire outbound system for you, just hit the first link in the description to book a call with me. We can talk about whether it makes sense for us to work together or not. All right, back to the video. So let's go to page 1 now. So as you can see, it's scraping the customer ID, the title. So the title is the company name, the website, the rating, the category, the phone number, the position. So that's the position in Google. As you can see, it's here like the first research, here the second, etc. The rating count, the address, latitude, longitude. And so here I have a column that verifies if it's really a restaurant in our case, because as you can see here, we're scraping restaurants. And here we just want to be sure that the businesses that we're scraping are really restaurants. And so there is a formula here that says that if in category, so here, there is not the word restaurant, then you show false. And so if it shows false, then we're not going to try to find the email, etc. Then it stops the whole enrichment process. But as you can see, there are some flaws, for example, for restaurant, because sometimes it's a steakhouse and so there is no restaurant. And so that's an issue. So this thing needs to be improved. It works for some businesses, but for restaurant, it's not perfect. But you can definitely remove this if you don't want to add another layer of verification. Then we're using Clayagent to find an email that is present on the website. So most of the times, it's going to be a generic email address. So that's good when it's small businesses because it can make sense to contact the info at email address. But if it's bigger businesses, it doesn't necessarily make sense. And you will need in that case to find the owner of the company, and I'll show you how to do it. So here's the prompt that I've added here. So I'm just guiding Clayagent to find the email address that is on the website. Now, if you want to contact the business owner, for example, you will need to use Clayagent to find, first of all, the name of the owner. Okay, so you create a prompt where you're asking Clayagent to find like who is the founder or who is the CEO of this business. And once you have the name of this person, you can use enrichment tools like Prospeo or LeadMagic. There are many on the market to find the email address of this person. So let's continue with the columns. So here it's just showing the results that we're getting from Clayagent. And then we're verifying the email address. Here we're using dbounce. And so when it's a valid email address, we want to contact this business. And so then it's showing in this column. Here we added a formula in master email that only shows the email when the email from dbounce is valid. Of course, we could add other layers of verification, like verifying the catch-alls that dbounce is finding, but here I wanted very simple workflow. But you can just watch my video where I talk about a full workflow on Clay, and you will have the whole waterfall enrichment with the catch-all verification and also the cleaning of the company name, etc. But here it's very simple. And so we have exactly the same for the page 2 and the same for page 3. And as you can see here on page 3, for example, Clayagent found 4 different email addresses. And so dbounce is verifying all of them. And here it's only showing the one that is valid. As you can see, reservations wasn't valid. That's why it's not showing. And so private events is valid. So it's showing here. So as you can see, it's a very cost-effective and easy way to scrape local businesses. It does require a bit of technical skills to set up, but the table is in the description and you can just duplicate it and use it immediately. You just have to modify your API key. Also, you don't need any paid subscription of Clay for that because we don't use any Clay credits. We're only using the API of Serper.dev. And so if you set everything up before the end of the free trial of Clay, then you can keep using it even after the free trial. So basically, you could scrape around 500,000 businesses for $50. So that's it for the video. Now, if you want us to build and run your entire outbound system for you, so you don't have to focus on lead generation, you can just hit the first link in the description to book a call with me. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe. I'll be posting more strategies and tutorials to help you scale your outreach. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.